Thank you so very much for staying with us. This is still Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Let's take you to the newspaper review now.
Right, time to welcome Chukwudokolu Abuja to Good Morning Nigeria and for the newspaper review. Chukwudi, good morning.
Morning, Claire.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
Very well.
Good to see you.
Yes.
I like your attire.
Actually,
Yeah.
I had to come in this dress. It's not new.
It's not new? I'm seeing it for the first time.
On Sunday, one of us, gave out her daughter, Mina Daniels. Unfortunately, I couldn't go for some reasons. So this morning I decided to honor Mina Daniels by coming in this attire of a wedding dress. So Mina, this is for you.
Oh, that's a good one. She's one of us. I like the fading.
Yes.
I like that.
You look good in it, by the way.
Well, thank you. I
was just wondering if you would have done better with a hat.
It's always, you see, he took it from my lips. I wanted to tell you, it's always a grudging appreciation or commendation.
She looks cowboy.
You're fine, but my people say once a button don't enter, something does work.
Because I'm not used to tying the. I'm not used to tying the ashoke geli, the big one.
Yeah.
And this is the one that complements the green.
The ladies' clothes.
Exactly. So I had to find a way to be creative with it. So Mina, congratulations. I'm sorry I couldn't attend. Well, this is for you and for the couple. Victor, let's get on.
All right. I have the blueprint to begin with here, and the major story reads, Tinubu to Uborewori Okowa, welcome to APC, not as defectors, but architects of better Nigeria. And it has two riders. Deltans want to get connected to Abuja, show Tinubu love. That's credited to Governor Uborewori, and Governor Otu links defection to APC-led government's performance, all right? Just above the nameplate, Nigeria's judiciary will uphold principle of fairness, inclusivity. That's according to the CJN, and you can get details on page 6. And to other stories in there, 2027, INEC 6 voting rights for inmates, Nigerians in diaspora. Early voting for security operatives, others on election duty too. I bet that will include journalists too. All right, let's leave that. Let's leave those for the blueprint, and off we go to the Daily Times. And the Daily Times leads also with, you are co-owners of APC, not guests. VP Shatima tells Uborewori Okowa, others. That story is on page 2, just above the nameplate. Suspected CBEX promoter surrenders to EFCC for investigation. You get details on page 2. And Pro-Wike group demands probe of shooting incident at rally. That's on page 11. And then just one more at the bottom of the Daily Times. Late Osinachi's husband, Nwachukwu, to die by hanging, court orders. And that story is on page 8. Claire.
Okay, let's turn to Daily Trust. And Daily Trust is also leading with a political story. It says, we can win without governors, Rufai. We can win without governors, Rufai. A little below the nameplate, NEC Delta Caretaker Committee top agenda as PDP NWC meets today. And Tinubu is isolated. Baba Ahmed, just also trending just below the nameplate. Electricity-related incidents kill 112 in 2024. And just below the picture story, how local government election exposed rift between Niger governor and deputy. And there are also other stories. Osinachi's husband sentenced to death by hanging. Residents flee as Boko Haram intensifies attacks on Adamawa villages. And in Benue, cold violence claims 20 lives in 6 months. That's from the Daily Trust. And we move on to the Leadership newspaper now. And Leadership is leading with Tinubu APC firm grip on inherited PDP structure. Details of that on page 4. It comes with a number of riders. Poverty worsened under you in Anambra, Sanwo-Olu blast Obi. Again, other stories, of course, we have read, except gunmen kill 10 at Benue drinking joint. Adopt full CBT by 2026. FG directs WAEC and NECO. 37 blind candidates sit for JAM in Bauchi, and INEC asks NAS to expedite action on legal framework. Okay, let's return to Chukwudi Okodugwaja now.
Sordid story there again. Gunmen kill 10 at Benue drinking joint. That's not a good story. As we would always say about Benue, about Plateau, about Zamfara, about Borno. Let us do more to save the souls of our brothers and sisters, or to save their lives rather. Saving of souls lies with the Lord or Allah. We can win without governors, politicians. Okay, but I think it's going to be a rough ride for the El Rufai camp. They need to do a lot of work. Let me quickly take this before I go to the politicians. Osinachi's husband to die by hanging. You don't certify death gleefully. So I'm going to say, what a pity, because if eventually he's executed, it's going to be one less, of humanity. But if we remember the circumstances of the woman's death, I mean, that woman, there's a particular song, I've forgotten it. It empowers you when you sing it.
It's the Kweme.
Kweme. That's it. That's a Kweme. It makes you feel God is in the room. What a waste of life. It's unfortunate. I hear that two of his children actually testified against him. Yes.
But it's now a question of Nigeria, the
orphans.
No, talking about the death penalty. We've not been implementing death
It's hardly, that's why I said, if he is executed. They have tacitly been keeping them in death row. Nobody rushes out to kill anymore. Which is actually humanist. Killing people is not really the answer, In all of
those, Chukwudi, our hearts should go to the children.
Still.
Who will now be orphaned. And that, again, it's another burden.
It is a burden.
Yes, not just for the immediate family.
It is a burden.
Extended family, also for the nation. And I don't know.
I think talking about being orphaned, we should go beyond the word or the dictionary meaning of orphans. Because for the children to testify against their father, it probably means that he wasn't present in the right way in the first place.
Orphan. Victor, that doesn't change.
That's why I said we should look beyond the dictionary meaning.
Extended meaning.
No,
it's really unfortunate.
Whatever it means.
It's really
whatever it means, those children will not have a father, will not have a mother.
Yes.
No father figure, no mother figure.
It's not the best story in town.
At all. It's not.
It's not the best story in town. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
But the law had to take its course. That is the way it goes. There's one on how many people? 112 people.
Yes. Killed by electric.
Electric whatever.
Yes.
When I was in NEPA, I remember my gleeful days as a clerical officer at Sapler Road, Benin City. When I was the DO's clerk, Martin Obi was great. He was an Ogorode power station trained engineer. Nsu. That's short for Nsuwara. When are you restoring the 132 kV line to Otukbo? Look, I've worked with people who knew Nigeria. The light would not blink then. But let's go to the real test of it. 112 is rather on the high side.
I think
It's rather on the high side.
Yeah.
I remember when one of the NEPA then, Kenneth Horton, was electrocuted. It shook our office. They were very, very careful in those days. I hope they still are very careful about what electricity could do to life negatively. It is very important that you build safety measures into your work.
The leadership is saying that this course must be accountable for those deaths in 2024. And
it's actually CJN.
And this is coming from the CJN.
Exactly. It helps you reduce recklessness. It helps you enhance carefulness.
Accountability.
And it helps you preserve life. When it is life, you put every other thing aside to preserve it. Forget all the killings you get to hear about in Nigeria. The other time I said, hey, let it not be we are suffering from spiritual problems because too much blood has flowed. You must preserve life.
We must also ask what is the basis, because some of those deaths might be those who probably may be tampering, with some of them
could actually be people pilfering, trying to pilfer energy, electricity.
Yes, so that's why we must look at the context.
We are talking about the deserving people.
Yes, that the CJN is speaking. We must contextualize.
You need to explain each death.
Exactly.
Then we know those who are deserving of compensation, those whom we could have saved if we were more careful. Because a man who climbs a pole to pilfer electricity, I mean, what is he carry? You understand? It's really unfortunate. Now, quickly to the defections. I'm from Delta State, so
congratulations. Your state is now united.
Congratulations that my governor defected with the entire...
Yes, that your state is now united.
Did he ask us the people? Because a journalist would always ask you that. How many of us did you consult? But it is their right. The Constitution really is not very loud on what happens when a governor wants to defect. It's the lawmakers that the relevant section actually treats their matter.
The governor will tell you he consulted with those that matter, the politicians, the stakeholders of the PDP.
Nigerian politicians would always consult.
Anyway, that's part of our conversation this morning, so I don't think we should even overflow. But let's look at what's happening in JAM. We're having more, physically challenged, candidates, and this paper. Leadership says about 37 blind candidates will be sitting for JAM in Bauchi, and I think we must applaud, is he immediate past JAM registrar, or he's still the registrar?
I'm not aware he's left.
So, okay. Loyede, okay. We must,
that wonderful man.
Yes, we must applaud the, digitization of the process.
The expansion of opportunity.
Yes, the expansion of opportunity.
That's what it is.
So
it means that a lot of infrastructure that will promote Braille, writing and all that has been put in place. And of course, disability, people don't like that word anymore. They talk about being challenged, which empowers the mind. Being physically challenged should not spell an impediment or handicap in your quest for knowledge. You try to contextualize the person's physical and mental disposition.
That's what they call
and give them the
inclusivity.
Inclusive
exactly. Governance. And again, what I draw from it is, again, when we talk about political will, to enforce change.
Yes.
It starts with one person. It shows that if we all did like Oloride, we could change our country.
Yes.
There will be widespread inclusivity in all aspects. So if we have an Oloride in every sector,
yes,
doing things commendable, I don't think Nigerians will then...
If you have an Oloide, if you have a Marwa, if you have a Zulum, there are these my stars spread across the country.
Yes.
What Oloide first did was to show that government could realize funds from process of sales of, what do you call it? Yes, that was the first thing he did. They didn't know that money could come from jam. I mean,
All right, Chukwudi, we must let you go.
thank you.
Thank you. So we'll see you tomorrow.
When I'm in this mood, it's always good to stop me. Very important.
Absolutely. And you are full of twists and turns. We didn't know you worked with NEPA. You're one of those.
I've done so many
Let's
things
take a
in
break.
life.
We'll be
Let's
right
wish you a
back.
great day, Chudi.